Africa Business Radio, your one-stop resource platform for all things business news, economy, leadership, productivity, investment, and more. ABR, towards a profitable Africa.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming. My name is Soji Akinabi, and welcome to Africa Business Radio. Today, we are having... Thank you. All right, as I was saying, we're having a special recording live on this stage today, and I'll be sharing the stage with Looney. Like you all know, Looney is the founder of Fledge. And whenever Looney introduces himself, he says, I run Fledge. So on that note, I think it's a good time to welcome Looney. Welcome, Looney.
Yeah, well, welcome, everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for being here. All right, talking about Fledge, you work with companies from across the world. Why is there so many from Africa?
Yeah, so I get this question a lot, right? Right now, tonight, you're going to hear 4 out of 6 from Africa, and overall, it's about almost half of the latest fledglings are from Africa. And why is that? Well, the answer is rather simple, right? As an investor and as an entrepreneur, I'm supposed to be able to predict the future. In order to predict the future, you have to look in the past, right? So if you think about the first billion people to pull themselves out of poverty, first human beings ever, that was in Europe and in America, and it took them 200 years. We called that the Industrial Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So then there's a billion people in China. Right? Well, they said we can do this too, and they have. They're more than halfway done, and it only took them 30 years. And then there's almost 1.5 billion people in India.
Correct.
Right? And they said, well, we're not going to get left out, right? And so in 20 years, they've caught up. The last place on Earth where you can find 1 billion people who are poor is in Africa. And I give them 15 years.
So you smell some opportunities, right?
Oh, yeah. All right, so imagine this. Imagine I give, no, not you. Imagine I give you $1 million. Okay, I give you $1 million and a time machine. And when you push the button, you are transported back to this very building 120 years ago, and it was brand new. You're in a beautiful warehouse, right? But you're also in a country where 90% of the population are subsistence farmers, right? Where their homes don't have electricity or running water, right? Where you're in the city of Seattle, it doesn't even have a train yet here, right? But you know it's coming, right?
I suppose you do not need a time machine anymore. I mean, you can just take an airplane to Africa.
Yeah, it's kind of the similar experience, except when you get to Africa, they all have cell phones.
Yeah, they do. They do, actually. And so, as an investor, if you have seen what has worked before, you can predict what will work again, right?
That's the idea, right?
Okay.
So well, we don't know exactly what's coming next. We know what's coming in general, right? We do know there's $1 trillion opportunity in just bringing the food and the water and the electricity to the poor people to make them middle class. That we know. But once they are middle class, right, I'm saying in 15 years there's going to be 500 million middle class living in Africa.
Yeah.
You know what they're going to want then?
Tell me.
Do you know? Do you guys know? Yeah, they're going to want ice cream, right? Right? It's hot in Africa. So here's what'll blow your mind, blow my mind. There's 2 kids right now somewhere in Africa. I have no idea where. They are 6 years old. They have never tasted ice cream.
Okay.
Right? In 15 years, they're going to be 21. Let's call one Ben and one Jerry because they're going to be millionaires selling ice cream in Africa.
All right. So you actually sounded like a typical capitalist.
Well, I am a capitalist, right? So
What kind of capitalist are you?
I'm a conscious capitalist.
Okay.
Right? And the difference is that Fledge is a for-profit. All the fledglings are for-profit. We're all mission-driven for-profits who are bringing these services to the people who need them in order to make money and scale up and make a few $1 trillion.
I would say that should be for a profit, conscious company that is telling these stories as well. I mean, this narrative,
Well,
this new narrative of Africa.
there should be. There is, right?
Yeah.
So this is why Africa Business Radio was invited here, because we need to tell these stories. If you go to Africa and you turn on CNN or BBC or CNBC, they're all there.
Yeah.
If you turn them on, they're still talking about the colonial economy. They're
Yeah.
still talking about oil and diamonds and minerals, right? They're not talking about the story that's staring them in the face, which is this rising middle class.
And for the same purpose, I started Africa Business Radio 2 years ago as an independent source of business information from across Africa. We cover from emerging startup stories to macroeconomic stories across the continent. We have a team of about 15 independent journalists and, of course, 3 full-time staff. And these guys are spread across from Nairobi in Kenya to Lagos in Nigeria to Accra in Ghana, even to Lusaka in Zambia.
Wow. And what kind of shows do you have on this network?
For now, we have about 15 different shows, from news and market analysis. We've got branded marketing. We've got the business of agriculture. Farming is big in Africa. We've got the business of entertainment. I mean, the music industry in Africa is booming. And we've got shows like property and real estate as well.
All right, so you're Africa Business Radio.
Correct.
Right, so you have a radio station in 54 countries?
No, just, so for now we have just one single online streaming radio network, and also a podcast network, series of shows. But we're also planning to have a separate stream for East Africa, West Africa, and Southern Africa, so that we can cover the different regions in addition to a Pan-African view.
So you're like a 21st century, you're like Bloomberg of Africa.
I mean, you could say that.
Yeah, okay. And we will. And so, how many people are listening to this stuff?
60,000 unique listeners.
60,000?
Right? Yeah, 60,000,
okay.
yeah. And over the past 2 years, we've got aggregated 2 million listeners. And half of these guys are not even from Africa. That tells you that it's a global thing, and of course, the market is ripe already, and people are waiting.
All right, 2 million unique listeners in 2 years.
Yes.
That's got to cost a huge amount of money to grow.
Not quite. So we've only spent $20,000 in cash. I mean, we leverage on our network within the media landscape across Africa. So a couple of things we didn't have to pay for, so we were able to.
Like broadcast licenses.
Yeah, broadcast license.
All right, so now you can see why we invited him, right? Lots of reasons here as a capitalist. Fledge gives each team $20,000. So we give them another $20,000, you're all set, right?
No, not really.
Surprise.
Based on our current plan, we are looking for $250,000 in investment. And we're also looking for 10 global brands that will sponsor some of our shows. Some people call them underwriters.
All right, so there's 3 things you guys can do for this company. Right? They are a South African company, which means everyone in the room can invest.
Yeah.
Second thing is you can go to africabusinessradio.com and you can listen to the live stream. The new website will get launched any day now.
Yeah.
Right? We're working on that. And then third is you can take out your phone, you can go to iTunes or Google Play, and you can subscribe to any of those podcasts, right? Just like you do with NPR.
Yeah, and if you'd like to join us, please speak to me after now. My stand is just right there. But from now, we're going to just...
time to sign off, yeah.
It's time to sign off. So thank you very much for joining us. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.